What's going on? It's your boy Pop DiBiase sitting here with Warren Moon, and he's with us, Fanatic Views, man, and he's a big fan of us. So let's go ahead and talk to the man himself, Warren Moon, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play, Hall of Famer as well. Warren, how you doing today?
I am doing great here at Super Bowl and dealing with all the festivities of Radio Row and seeing a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time, which is great, including you guys, and big fans.
How has life been after playing? I know that you've founded a very intriguing marketing company called Sports One. Explain a little bit more about that for us.
Well, it's a company that we do a lot of consulting for other companies that want to get more involved or have more visibility in sports. So that could mean anything. It just depends on what their goal is and what they're trying to accomplish in the sports world. So for an example, if there was a skincare product that wanted to put that skincare in front of more athletes, then they would come to us to try and get that done. So that's just kind of an example of the type of things that we do for different companies.
All right, beautiful stuff. So we caught up on that. So, man, let's get down to talking about some football. This is a question I want to ask a great like yourself. Who is your top 5 quarterbacks all time? I know you're number 1, but who are the other 4 on your group?
Wow, you're putting me on the spot because there's so many different quarterbacks from different eras, and it's really hard to pinpoint them all. But, you know, the guys that I played with, I thought I played in one of the most quarterback-rich eras that there was. And you look at a guy like Joe Montana, I thought he was probably one of the best. You know, went to 4 Super Bowls, won 4 Super Bowls, never threw an interception in any of those Super Bowls. So he's right up there. I look at John Elway as being another one of those guys. You got to come into this age where you look at Tom Brady and what he's been able to do, and also Peyton Manning. I mean, there's just so many that I could pick, and then you go into the players who are playing today, the young guys, the Patrick Mahomes, and all these guys, Russell Wilson. So there's been so many great quarterbacks just over the last 20 years in the league that it's hard to pick 5.
Man, and these are some Texas boys right here. I'm from California myself, and I know that you went to Hamilton High, all that good stuff, but you played in the Canadian Football League and also the NFL as well, too. And when you left the league, you really, if they added both of your stats, you would be the all-time leading passer. So how does it feel to be a quarterback that played for 23 seasons and then you were able to be in your 40s as well, too? What's the advice you would give to Tom Brady, who looks like he might be looking for a new team? What's the advice you would give to these older guys like him and Rivers, moving forward?
Well, I just tell them, if you want to continue to play and you still have the same passion, you still have the same motivation, you still have the same work ethic, then you keep playing. You play as long as you possibly can, as long as you're playing at a level that you feel comfortable with, because you don't want to play when you can't play up to what your standards are. But if these guys want to keep playing, do it, because once you do retire, there's no going back. So you play as long as your body will let you, as long as your heart will let you, and then you'll know when it's time to quit. And right now, I don't think those guys know if it's time to quit yet.
Oh, man, that's beautiful stuff. And here goes a great question. You see the NFL today. We have Deshaun Watson, who's in your original NFL home, Houston, and he reminds me so much of you. Then you got Lamar Jackson as well. You mentioned Mahomes. And what's this new era quarterbacks, do you feel like they're taking the game to another level? And do you feel like you might be one of the blueprints of, because you rushed as well, too, but you were a great passer as well, too. Do you feel like the pioneer of what's going on today?
Well, I feel like I played a small part in what the opportunities are these guys are getting. It's one thing to do what they're doing on the field. I don't have anything to do with that, but I think I do have something to do with the opportunities, and that's something we were always lacking many years ago, is giving African-American quarterbacks that opportunity to show what they could do. A lot of them were just told, no, you're going to play running back, you're going to play wide receiver, you're going to play DB. They weren't given that opportunity to show what they could do, where these guys today now are being given those opportunities, and a lot of that has to do with how well I played, how well Doug Williams played, winning a Super Bowl, how well Randall Cunningham played, winning MVP awards. That's what opened the minds of all these general managers and owners and coaches to say, hey, these guys can play the game at a high level, and now you see all these guys getting opportunities, and once they get the opportunities, they're showing what they could do.
Perfect stuff. Now, we got the draft coming up, and you went to Washington as well, too. What is your thoughts on Jacob Eason?
Well, Jacob had a really good season for the University of Washington this year. I personally thought maybe he should come back for another year, but when they're telling you that you might be a first-round draft pick, then there's really no reason for you to come back to school if you feel like you're going to go that high in the draft. So hopefully that does happen for him, because he has a chance, if he came back to school, maybe to be the top pick in the draft. But if you're going to go in the first round, you might as well come out now.
And thoughts on Joe Burrow and Tua? Which one would you pick if you were the GM?
Man, that's a difficult one. I'd have to wait to see what Tua's injury situation is like once he's healed. He is a very special player, a very gifted passer. He's played at a very high level in a very high-level conference, and he's done it for a couple of years. Joe Burrow's had an amazing year, probably one of the best years we've ever seen for a passing quarterback in college. So both of those guys are going to go very, very high in the draft, but I don't think I can make that decision until I see what his medical history, Tua's medical history is coming here in the next couple of months.
And Pac-12 guys, you were Pac-10. I remember you played when it was the Pac-10, and I'm Pac-8, and I'm from Pasadena, so you're well aware. Rose Bowl is right down the way. What are your thoughts on Herbert, the Oregon quarterback?
I really like him a lot as well, and I heard he did really good things at the Senior Bowl, really impressed a lot of those coaches there and everybody that came out to watch him play. He had a tremendous last year, especially the second half of the season. He played a lot better than the first half of the season, going on and winning the Pac-12 championship, winning a Rose Bowl, and then having a very solid Senior Bowl appearance. I think he was the MVP of that game too. So his star is rising. There's no question about it, and he's going to turn a lot of heads because he's a really good kid from what I understand. He's a really smart kid, academic All-American, and then very, very gifted athletically.
All right, and I got a question here, and I don't want to offend or anything like that. I know that you played against the Buffalo Bills years ago, and we ran into somewhat the similar situation in the recent playoffs with the Texans playing the Chiefs, and as I said before, Deshaun reminds me so much of yourself. What do you think of that, and are you advising him at all? Because you know that you are a very significant person in the city of Houston, probably their greatest quarterback ever. So has he reached out to you for a little bit of advice, or anything like that, before and after?
Yeah, we've talked a bunch over the last couple of years, and we stay in contact, texting each other. But, he's off to a great start in his young career. He had the one injury in his rookie year that kind of set him back a little bit, but he's done nothing but win ever since he's been in this league. And as they put more pieces around him, he's only going to get better. They need to improve his offensive line a little bit better, give him a little bit better protection, and maybe he needs one more weapon offensively. But his work ethic, and he has that special innate talent for playing his best football when the game is on the line, and that's something that you can't teach. That's something you can't coach.
Lamar Jackson, MVP. What are your thoughts? Do you think that he is absolutely going to change the game? He's one of the quarterbacks that they recently were like, well, maybe he'd be better if he moved to receiver. What are your thoughts on Lamar Jackson moving forward?
Well, you look at the season he had this year. I mean, just an amazing year. Not only did he rush for over 1,200 yards, but he throws 36 touchdowns to lead the league. So that answered a lot of questions in anybody's mind about Lamar Jackson, whether he can play the position or not. He's only 23 years old, so his ceiling is so much higher than what it is right now. He's only going to get better. He's only going to improve as a passer. He'll probably run less as he gets older because he won't have to. I just love what he was able to do this year to quiet a lot of their critics, and hopefully he wins the MVP award. And if he continues to work the way he's worked the first 2 years he's been in the league, sky's the limit for Lamar Jackson.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And as I talked to you about before, I'm from L.A. You grew up in L.A. as well, too. And you know that L.A. is a very big sports town and everything like that. The Lakers are probably the most integral part of that. What are your thoughts on Kobe Bryant passing away?
Just a very, very sad situation all the way around, not only for Kobe, but also his daughter. I mean, her life was taken away at 13 years old. We had other families that were affected by that. And then just Kobe being such an iconic figure, he was like the Michael Jordan for this era of players who are playing right now. This is who they grew up watching, Kobe Bryant. So that's why you see it affecting so many guys in basketball, so many guys in football, so many different athletes around the world because of the presence that Kobe had in their lives. So it's a great loss for everyone all the way around. My prayers and condolences go out to all the families that were involved in that situation. I can only imagine what it's like to lose a child. That's something as a parent you don't want to do, is ever outlive your children. And just hopefully God is with them.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now, we're here at the Super Bowl. Kansas City, San Francisco. What is your prediction? What is your angle here?
Well, I'm looking at weapons. I just think nobody's been able to slow Kansas City down. And I don't think San Francisco is going to be able to slow them down unless they can run the football and keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes. That's, I think, the only way you can stop this offense, because they just have too many different guys that he can go to, and you can't double team them all. And he's playing too well, not only throwing the ball, but now he's added that extra dimension since he's healthy now with the knee. He's running the football, and that makes him doubly dangerous. So I think they're going to win the football game. I think it's going to be a very good game, though, but I think it's going to be something like 31-27 Kansas City.
All right, for all my little sports bettors out there, Warren Moon saying the over, and the Chiefs will be the winner of the game. So there it goes. We have it right there. But, Warren, thank you so much for coming over and talking with us today. It's your boy Pop DiBiase signing out for Fanatics View.
What's up, sports fans? Bryant Page here with Fanatics Viewed. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed watching and you want to see more content, subscribe down below.